Hi and welcome to this video on Rage 2. This video will be covering why you should blast through this open world and have a blast while doing it. This game is the most gamey game I have played. Even more gamey than Doom Eternal in a lot of different ways. This game is Rage 1 dialed up past 11. There is so many extra abilities, so many extra things, just overall, like all these different abilities that all have upgrades. And I'm going to be covering a whole lot of this, but I'm not going to go into detail of a lot of different things. But each one of these are part of your kit, and each one is very useful. The levels there's a lot of unique things in the levels and how the level system works, but I'm not going to cover that. I want you to figure this stuff out because all of this is exploration stuff in all of this. This game is one tightly knit experience. Everything in it, even from the day and night cycle, is basically its own ecosystem. There's even ways to get like down at the bottom. The crystals there. Those are Feltrite. Feltrite you use to heal yourself. You also have like a weapon with a DLC that I'm going to cover later, but a lot of different things revolve around Feltrite. Feltrite is also used to upgrade your stuff, different things like excuse me, even though you didn't hear me, I had to burp. But the Feltrite is used for all different things, and there is random events that can happen throughout the entire map that a Feltrite meteorite falls from orbit that you can just get randomly while playing the game. And this game is infinitely replayable because it has a prestige system. You can constantly replay it, getting new things, possibly just having a blast while doing it. And this game is an open world. This game is so massive that that's the entire map, but not including a DLC section. That I'm going to cover a little bit more ish, but this is the entire map, and to cover the distances, I'm going to drive all the way over here later. I do want to cover a little bit of other things before I drive over there, but just that purple line is what I'm going to cross, and you'll see how long it takes to cross that distance. And I'm not going to speed up or anything because there's a lot of different things along the way. Like I said, this game is a tightly knit ecosystem, which is amazing how beautiful this game is. It's not really a downside. The only thing I would really want in this game, and I do mean only thing, like there's not even like a little thing here or there like I would want a little bit polished. Like it's beautiful and how it works and how it functions. Every little thing that I've ever done in it, it's beautiful. Just the only little thing is, and even when I suggest something, it's still beautiful regardless. The reason why I suggest something is because it's a little bit better, possibly. Like it could be a little bit better, but even the suggestion, it could be actually worse, depending on how it's implemented and exactly what would happen if it is implemented, because different things like that. Game design is a lot harder, and how you can balance it. Because but besides the point, this only really could go with, or could only really benefit from, a multiplayer. That's it. Like this game is a time sink of a game that you can play single player, and it's only single player, and it has so much to do. Like the arcs, those are how you get different weapons, abilities while playing through your first time. Every other time, you don't have to redo it. Like the arcs are right there. I haven't done these arcs, and yet I have all the weapons already unlocked with the cosmetics I have unlocked because I'm just replaying it again and again and again. And that's something amazing about how the prestige system works. You don't have to go through every little thing again to get the weapons. The only time you go through it again is to get the money and the XP, and the money is the only thing you're really needing to use because the campaign things, which is why you see all the levels there, are used to upgrade little things here and there. And it's amazing how just this entire game goes from Rage 1 to Rage 2. It doesn't flow perfectly. There are a lot of things here and there that don't really add up. Primarily the map itself and how it's generally laid out. Like Rage 1 is typically like in caverns, not caverns, ravines and general things where the ground itself is pushed up. Like you see highways up on mountains and shit, and see highways down next to you as well. Like the entire ground itself got moved, and because of that, it could explain why there's so many other things you're going to see throughout it. But a cool connection point, and there's a couple cool connection points, like Dr. Cavisier, I believe is how you pronounce his name, and other things here and there throughout the game that, or other people too, like Lucem Hagar, which if you played Rage 1, is the Wingstick kid that teaches you how to use a Wingstick, which is pretty cool. And this is Wellspring. That tower up there, the reason why you see the name there is because the guy there that's on the side of the wall or side of the building is a egotistical maniac to the point that he is working for the authority. If you've played Rage 1, you know the Authority to an extent. The Authority here is a little bit different, a little bit more the main bad guy. And this game is Rage, like I said, Rage 1, but dialed up past 11. Like, this is more than a 2 in so many different ways. Like, even the gameplay itself, all those different abilities. Like, the only thing, the only ability that crossed over between Rage 1 and Rage 2, because there's only one ability in Rage 1, is the defib. And even that has massive buffs and massive things you can do to make it even better. Like, you can guarantee easily max health on revive. Easily. And get bonuses like when you do that defib, everything around you gets shocked. And the reason why I keep saying Rage 1 is because I'm going off the perspective that you have played Rage 1 and wanting to play Rage 2. Because Rage 1, if you haven't played it, I highly suggest playing it, but it is a PS3 game. I don't know if it's on PS, or not PS, I don't know if it's on Xbox 360, or I think that's the Xbox of that generation, but I don't know if it's on that, but I know it's on PS3, and I know it is not on the PS Plus Plus Plus. Actually, I think it might be. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. I want to say it is not on it. I think it's not on it. But it's still an amazing game, and I highly suggest playing it. This is a place you can go to in Rage 1 that is absolutely amazing. And it has the general layout here and there, but like I think there's like the place out here is where it's mostly different. I'm going to drive up a little bit and talk about the weapons because you can't really show off weapons in these areas. But up here, all of that is so different. Because if I remember correctly, it was like in the middle of like a cavern. Like that wall there had more on that side and just covering it all. But I'm assuming that divot over there that you're going to see me drive over just happened over the course of a good bit. And it has been like... Oh yeah, those you can actually fight, or yeah, those are races you can actually find while running around. Which is awesome about the exploration, that you can just find random things around while just exploring. And the exploration is something amazing in of itself, because you can find loot just in random places you wouldn't otherwise think about it. And I was saying before the people drive past, and like I said, storage container, there is places you can find different things here and there, and random boys you can just run over and kill. Something amazing about how gamey this game is, while you're killing boys, you get a stacking bonus or stacking multiplier. That multiplier gives you more super energy, basically, but it's overdrive. But also, it allows you to have more health siphoned, basically, from killing enemies. They drop Feltrite, which picking up that Feltrite allows you to get more health, and I'm actually going to stop right here so I can show off different weapons, because these weapons are what I'm what I'm primarily wanting to cover. And this ravine is what I was talking about, of it could have easily just shown up, not overnight, but over 40-ish years. Okay, if I remember correctly, Lothsome Hagar right now in this, at this point in time in Rage Story, is like 47. If I remember correctly, she was like 17 in Rage 1, so that's like 30 years. Or exactly 30 years. If it's 7-7, that's exactly lined up. That's exactly 30 years. And that amount of time, this might not be exactly possible, but this is a picture of that was a picture of the moon. The moon is broken like that because, okay, the craziest thing about the moon is broken, not because something hit it, but because something flew past it and hit Earth dead on, called the Feltrite meteorite, which if you haven't played Rage 1, and this is lore on Rage 1, which is why Rage 1 is such a wasteland, and little things happen, or a lot of things happen in this, because they knew it was going to happen. The Feltrite meteorite is a meteorite that humanity found a long time ago, and this is a good bit of lore on Rage 1 and Rage 2, but Feltrite meteorite was discovered way in the distance in space, and it was flying towards Earth. We discovered it because it was emitting a lot of energy, because Feltrite itself is imbued with energy. It is basically Soulstone. It is pure mana in concentrated form, which is why Rise of Ghost expansion is a thing. It fully explains that a good bit more, and why there's Feltrite abilities, or Nanotrite abilities, which Nanotrites can only be made with Feltrite. They are one and the same, relatively speaking, but one is like harnessing with technology, but it would not be possible without it, which is why you have the defib, which even in Rage 1, you could get jibbed. You could be chunks, but you can still defib and come back together, which that alone is amazing, and how it overall functions and how the gameplay itself shows you how it functions. And that stuff works for this. Here and there, like there's like slight spoiler, but at the very beginning, a lot of shit happens, and you see people that should have the defib ability not use it like that. But they could have already used it. It could be on a different cooldown, gamey things, like a lot of different explanations that could be used for that reason for why it didn't happen. Which is something interesting about how this overall works-ish. Like, the Feltrite being more and more with higher tiers of bonus, that doesn't make any sense. That's just overall gamey. But the Feltrite being in their blood, that makes a whole lot of sense because everyone has Feltrite. It's literally in the water. It's literally everywhere, which is why this world is so fucked in so many different ways. But the other DLC, and there is like four DLCs, I think, in total. I think you can buy all four. Two of them are really just a little mission that gives you a weapon. One is literally just a meteorite that falls that gives you a weapon. The weapon that you get a mission for is this, which is the Rage 1 main weapon. It doesn't have the scope like I really liked in Rage 1, where you could actually have a binocular or a monocular. It's not two, it's just one, which is what I would really like, because that was also a DLC in Rage 1. But the other weapon you get out of just a random, or this is a drop, is the BFG. The BFG is the big fucking gun in this game. It does a metric fuck ton of damage. These two are from the other two DLCs, which are more of a full-on expansion where it adds so much more. That is the Rise of the Ghost DLC. That actually has a very interesting mechanic, unlike everything else. And the reason why that only has one in reserve and that only has one in reserve is because I never use either of these, so I just sold their ammo just for an extra little bit of money because I'm trying to get gold shotgun. But that's my personal gameplay. You can do whatever you want. Just explaining that because that is a little bit weird. These two, or this specifically, has a very unique interaction with the overall gameplay, because while you're killing things and getting Feltrite, you are also getting ammo for that, and that is not... That I don't really know a good use for. Like, I don't know a good use for that or that, which is why I just sold that ammo. That is a very good primary. That is a good fuck you and launch you type mechanics. That has a lot of different things. You're going to see me use a lot of different weapons. Like, you're going to see me use that, and things here and there. All of these different weapons have a lot of different use cases. That is the most unique, actually, in this game, and the most interesting. And there's so many things here and there that do so many different things. And that is kind of redundant, but it's a beautiful game and how each weapon can be used in all sorts of different ways. But the coolest thing about it, it's like a Spider-Man game where you could use the same combo every single time for basically every single enemy. Like, same combo. Being Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. You could, in theory, use the same combo except for bosses, but even then, if you figure out their rhythm, when you punch them, you can use the same combo. You don't have to use all sorts of different movements and fancy tricks. This game works off the same principle. You could main, technically, any of these weapons. You could main the shotgun if you really want to until you run out of ammo, then you have to switch. But you could main any of these weapons, including the sword. The sword is very fun. It has a lot of unique mechanics that I'm going to show off, and I'm going to show off a good bit of these weapons, not necessarily all of them, but a good bit once I actually get to the campaign mission I'm going to. Which is why I'm going there. It's a double whammy of showing you the distance and all of that. These guys are a race. I believe I can hawk at them and get him to race. And something amazing, while you're playing this, you're unlocking weapons, gear, cosmetics, and you're also able to unlock different vehicles. All the different vehicles you're seeing being able to be driven, and I'm sorry about just crashing there, I suck at driving occasionally. All the different vehicles you see being drove, you can actually drive yourself. Even tanks here and there, and at the very end of the campaign, you do unlock a tank. Those guys are Thortal. I'm not going to fight him because I'm just wanting to get to the mission, because this mission is going to take a little bit, and it is also going to be pretty fun. Something amazing about this game overall is that the different biomes you can find. This stretch is generally the same. It looks pretty similar, but there is a jungle biome. There is all sorts of different places. Like there's a swamp, there's a jungle, there's a desert, all in this general area. That guy's a race. All in this one continent, I think, but it's not even a full continent, and it has all those different biomes, which is amazing and very gamey, but still amazing. Something also very interesting about this game is that there's not just 3 enemy factions. There's actually more. There's the goons. There is the bandits or immortals, I think is what they're actually called specifically. There is the mutants. There's the authority, and I believe there's one more. Yeah, the ghosts in that DLC, and another one which is in the sword DLC that I didn't actually talk about. That one is you actually helping a guy that is, if you've ever played Destiny, basically he's Zerg. He shows up whenever he wants to show up, not even on the weekends, whenever he wants to show up. And when he shows up, he can let you buy all sorts of different things. I believe DLCs and things you can buy with real world currency and things you can buy with in-game currency. I haven't played this game in over a year, or over 2 years actually. But I did download a little bit ago and play it a good bit, and really wanted to make a video on it because this game is absolutely amazing in all the different ways I'm talking about.
Approaching the Eden Space Center.
Ah, yes. It might be overrun by road scum, come to think of it. But there will be no problem for a ranger. No problem at all.
We're here, Spores.
Well, that fucking hurt. Well. That's some bullshit. The sword has a lot of cool mechanics. Like you can charge up the blade to launch it. You can also block. I don't want to try and block a rocket, but you can do all sorts of little mechanics here and there, like block, which allows you to get in closer. But you can't swing immediately, which is why you would want to do different abilities here and there to let you overall use this weapon a hell of a lot more effectively. Something amazing is that this has its own, relatively speaking, unique super, which allows you to basically detain big shits you don't really want to deal with, and then allows you to run up and fuck them up. There's a couple unique things you can do with this overall, which is pretty cool. But there's a lot of different weapons, and I'm wanting to show them off here and then just speed run through the mission. But all these different weapons have unique abilities well in the R1 mode. This is the ability you get when you buy Ghosts, which is the Void ability. It's very handy. Each weapon has a unique ability with the skull. Once you press both top triggers, that skull gives you, I think with this, like rocket ammunition, different things like that. Like each weapon gets absolutely fucking cracked. And while you're focusing, you can detonate things here and there. It's pretty cool. The only other weapon I really want to show off is this, because this is a multi-purpose weapon. There's a couple multi-purpose in like the sense of like headshots or other things, but each one of those can be placed to set a trap, which can be used here and there, like when you see enemies about to run out of the room, you can just blanket that area with a fuck ton of explosives and just say, ha fuck you, in the most spectacular way you can. And now, I am going to kick some ass. When I think I should use a different weapon, I will.
The Space Center. It's in ruins, and like you said, overrun by thugs.
It should pose no problem to you. And as for Eden, well, it was built to withstand anything. Let us get you proper access. Press palm to hand scan in the reception desk.
I do want to get the loot while going through this, because I don't know if I'll be able to actually go through this again, but I know I'll be able to get this one. While running around like you saw, go use this every now and then to see things, once you actually unlock this, because I think this is a upgrade. Like everything you're seeing, I am max level in this. I have, like, you saw, I am prestige. I have literally every upgrade, and I don't even know where you have to really go to upgrade certain things.
Well, look at that.
Excellent. Now, allow me to give you full access.
Hey, Doc, better hurry up. Road goons caught the scent.
Wait and hold. I have a
like the sound of that.
Ah, yes. Better to take no chances. Now you have full access, President. The EcoPod mission control is on the 3rd floor.
Once you actually upgrade a lot of different things, you can do shit like this, which I haven't fully took advantage of, but you can do a lot of crazy movement here and there. The melee range is nowhere near what it really feels like it should be.
Unauthorized personnel. Access denied.
Something kind of cool, if you're paying attention very well, I am constantly being able to dash once I get a kill. Because the passive of this sword, once you upgrade a good bit with the DLC, and I'm talking about the DLC because the DLC is actually pretty worth it, because the ones that are only really a mission or just an item are very cheap. The ones that are more expensive, or the more expensive in what you're really getting, they are more expensive in price. But this has a passive, once upgraded, that allows you to, while you are getting kills, instantly refunding both or all of your charges of dash. Which can be really handy because you can dash into somebody to do damage.
Personnel are no longer present. Threat has been notified. Mr. President, welcome to Eden EcoPod Mission Control.
Made it, Doc.
Excellent. Now, look for the central computer. You will initiate the recall procedure for Eco-15. Still in orbit.
Recall sequence approved. Beginning EcoPod recall. Thank you, Mr. President. May you bring about a new Eden. Ecopod has entered the atmosphere. Onboard temperature readings indicate thermal shielding is uniform.
It's down! The Ecopod made it!
I know, and so does the Authority. Hurry inside and activate it. I will handle the rest.
This better work.
This is a campaign mission, but there is missions, and since I am primarily covering this mission, and I am going to cover things after it, but this is a campaign mission, but there is side missions and missions just like different, basically lost sectors and like Destiny terminology, which is the place you can go here and there. There's even races. There's even Mutant Bash TV. Which is basically do it. You can do it over and over and over again to constantly get loot, which you can then spend on ammo, cosmetics, all sorts of shit. With with the vendor there, there's so many other things you can do in this game besides what I'm covering. The reason why I said that is because some games have a very campaign forward type of gameplay, but everything you can do, including the races, Mutant Bash, and everything, have a lot of replayability and a lot of things you can do in them, and just overall things. Like Mutant Bash has unique modifiers and shit.
You have found it. Turn it on and let me handle the rest. That big supercomputer will soon be dancing to Kvasir's tune.
It's all powered up. Everything seems to be in working order.
Fantastic. The Dagger project will now... I am getting a reading from outside the Ecopod. You have Authority battle mutants homing in on your location.
I'll take care of them.
I'm not... Okay, you know what? I am actually going to use the BFG so you can see it, but I can't actually use the BFG right now, because I have to get them weak.
Mutants. Shouldn't be a problem.
Alright, well, almost shot the BFG. I thought I had the shotgun still equipped there. Oh. BFG ammo you can only buy, you can't actually find. Every other ammo you can. I accidentally punched him, but you know what? That stopped him from running out. I thought I was good behind that. Well, at least you get to see the defib. And now I get to use the BFG. Taste a big fucking gun upside the head.
Doc, the Authority mutants are no longer a threat. You're good to go.
Ah, so swiftly, too. You surely are Prowley's successor.
Right. So now you're gonna get to finishing up your part of Dagger?
Yes, indeed. With this setup, it will be a breeze. Plus, I will have ample time to prepare other feats of science which will be beneficial to you.
Like?
Different projects of a scientifical nature, all of which will help you get stronger and tougher, and ultimately ultimately be able to, how you say, kick the authorities' butt.
Sounds good to me.
Once you do a specific like quest, so to speak, and the main campaign is getting these done, but you don't actually have to get them done to be able to keep the benefits. Like I don't actually have this campaign or this quest step done, but I do still have the benefits of all these different things. Like I have all the ammunition I want and everything else. Like I have all those benefits still, which is very useful, but you still have to do the mission to actually be able to talk to them, different things like that. But all right, first, I like how the BFG is unique for this game. Like this is its own BFG. It is not BFG from the original Doom, even Doom 2, even Doom 3. I don't think. I think this is just its own BFG, which is pretty cool. Uh, Something that you get while helping out Dr. Cavisier. Hopefully I can spawn it right here. Hell yeah. Is this. This is basically you are flying on a wet paper bag because it takes very little damage and then explodes. But, like you are seeing, it flies, which allows you, and like I'm actually going to do, I am going to fly all the way over here. And you are going to see how much faster that is. Just overall using this. This is something you unlock later down the line while helping out Dr. Cavisia, which is very handy, and I is just doing it. But there is reasons to be driving instead of flying because you can find a lot more things. You can do a lot more things while just driving. This is basically a different form of fast travel where you're just trying to get from point A to point B. Like if you're wanting to just get the objectives done, not caring about anything else, use the Icarus. But if you're wanting to actually get all the loot, all the little things you can while driving around, drive around. That's a lot more ease of use.
Walker, my research is close to completion, but I am lacking one vital component. Please come see me in my lab.
On my way, Doc.
There is a little bit of learning how this vehicle works because it's not as simple as fly up the cliff. There is like if there is like a little ledge over it, you are gonna want to like finagle a little bit. Like you can go up things you wouldn't otherwise really think because of how this really functions. You need okay. Like I've said in previous videos, my thing is gaming. I'm highly autistic or high functioning autistic, and my thing is gaming. So I've been able to feel out how a lot of different games function, which is why I am very good at playing Destiny and all of the games that I've ever played. I'm just good at it. This vehicle basically has an invisible push underneath it, like how other things would, like how actual flyer would. But this push is like directly underneath it. You need at least a little thing for it to get its footing, and then you'll be able to fly up it. Like if I can get its footing basically on something here, that's a little bit too steep. Here's a little bit of footing, basically. It's basically right underneath it like you just saw, which is how you can climb up things. That I'm not even going to try and climb up anymore, but where you can climb up things, and if you use things like this, you can use it to give you a little bit more height to then fly up a little bit. There's little unique things here and there, which is very cool for this vehicle overall. And that is the jungle, which in Rage 1 was a far-fetched dream for there to be a jungle. But, like the mission you just saw, the ecopods are what makes these possible, or what makes these different or this biome specifically possible. Because the planet Earth is meant to be, or I believe in Rage 1, it was basically dead. There was things living on it, but it was basically a dead world. Well, that tree is real. Okay. Basically, every nook and cranny, except for places up high. Like up here, I have never once seen anything up here, up on places like this. But every other place, there is a lot of cool loot you can find. A lot of cool things you can find. Just a lot of things here and there. And a tip for flying the Icarus, try and get height if you're trying to cover big gaps. Height is your best friend for this vehicle because of the little things you can see me doing. I knew I was going to hit that. Shit. And you see how much damage I'm taking? That from pretty hefty bumps, but the other vehicles barely take damage from those. And I am just crunching good chunks of this. And I believe this is the Ecopod that started this entire force. And it's also an Ark. Ooh.
Found an arc. Jackpot.
It does take a second to gain momentum when you're trying to do little turns like you just saw. But it does allow you to get places like this. With everything, or, you know what, how much longer do I got? That's only been 37. You know what, I am going to go delete these guys with my America gun. And then I am going to call it a day. Or a video, relatively speaking. Fall damage is the thing. This is your best friend for just getting down. It's actually not your best friend. You still have a limited height you can fall from because it didn't allow me to slam there. I should have been able to slam there if it was actually as good as I thought it was. Also, if you want more of a challenge, this game could in theory offer it. I do not want to attempt to play it on harder difficulty because I really like just the overall just have a blast in this game, which is the overall gameplay that I'm absolutely enjoying about it. But you can actually crank this up by 2 more notches if you really want to, comparatively to what I am doing. Hell yeah, this is actually a good example of the differences because I'm going to use the America gun, not the other one. Which is going to typically be the high damage thing unless you're wanting, or your high damage weapon, unless you are wanting to buy the DLC. I'm not saying buy the DLC, spend your money how you want to and spend it wisely. If you want to spend on something else or you have to spend on something else, spend on something else. But I'm trying to cover how these DLCs are actually kind of worth it. But you can always fuck shit up without having to worry about it. But there is, wait, right? Why have I? Oh, because I have to hit him in the brain. Okay. But yeah, you see how fast he is getting melted. Okay, I thought he was going to take a lot more damage there. For actual bosses, because I thought he would be considered an actual boss, for actual bosses, there is a lot more difference between the two. But because the BFG just one-shot him, it didn't really show how much damage it did. The BFG does a fuck ton more damage than this. Like,
Security scanning complete. Mr. President.
20 shots, I want to say. Like, off the top of my head, like 20 shots worth. There is a tutorial, like you just saw there, that shows you how to use the weapon overall. It is in like a, and something kind of cool when you do the objective that I just did, or the mission I just did, every other arc and everything connected to the same system, then calls you Mr. President from that point on, which is amazing that it does that. It's just a little cherry on top of everything. But those tutorials on how to do different things, it also is for abilities, for weapons, for literally anything that you can get on arc, which is abilities and weapons, but they give you a tutorial in a VR situation, basically, and giving you different ammo to absolutely just go balls to the wall with it, and giving you full detail run through, and excuse me, but full detailed run through of how everything works. Like how the overdrive works, which I'm actually going to show off with this. First, I'm going to show off the different versions. There's thump, and then there is lock-on thump. But there's also thump thump. Which thump thump, I just said, okay, first I just said thump thump because I was saying like thump and then extra thump, it kind of worked, but it's not really, it's kind of yours. But That is only able to be done in the skull mode, which you just see the skull mode get a good chunk there. This game is a constant flow of abilities and just overall everything. Because I believe also while you're stacking up the percentile, you're also getting faster cooldown for your abilities, which are the square, triangle, circle, X, and just all of those are getting constant cooldowns. Like it's a constant kill everything you possibly can, keep going. This game is amazing in how it works. With all that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And okay, that's actually something kind of cool. The thing in the middle of my compass is a caravan that you do not want to fight on the Icarus because you can't actually fight it on the Icarus. You're really just running away from it on the Icarus. But with the main vehicle, which is the vehicle I used first, that has a lot of different weapons that you can upgrade and unlock and do different things to get. I believe you can get the parts during racing to unlock different things. I think you can also use those parts to unlock different things for your vehicle. But you can also go to different vehicle shops at different settlements here and there to unlock gears, to go to your thing here to then buy upgrades. Each upgrade can do different things, like the ejector seat. Why are you? What? I was pressing up there, and yet it was still going down. Why did you break that severely, and why can't I? Okay, that is very handy, like you see there in the clip. That can actually be very handy depending on what you're trying to do. But for the caravan, that's actually a caravan there. Different vehicles or different weapons here and there can be very handy, and all of these different things cost different amounts. Like that, I think costs like 20 because it's just cosmetic. You don't really need it. But these weapons are very handy, and each one has different ammo that you can use. I'm saving up to buy that, which is why I haven't bought that yet. But with all of that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.